the top of your head to see
Where?
the glasses. Yeah.
Wrong kind of glasses. Wrong kind of glasses. So my level is fine here? My level is fine here? Everybody good to go? Check 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
It don't sound like that
I
was
think
what
I had
happened at all.
cornflakes this morning, unfortunately, but
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Truly Julie Experience, a show that covers fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle topics that aim to help you look good, feel good, and live good. I am your host, Julianne Lee, and I thank you for joining us for another episode. Now, today's show will be all entertainment. Actually, it's educational entertainment for a cause. Okay, it is being presented not at our regular studio location, but live from the Island Space Caribbean Museum. All right, and that is in Sunrise. It's Sunrise.
this is actually plantation.
Plantation, Florida. Okay. And that's a nonprofit organization that has a mission to elevate the profile of Caribbean art, history, and culture in every form throughout South Florida and the broader diaspora.
Ma'am.
Now, in this episode, I'll be talking with CALIBE Thompson, who is one of the co-founders and president of the organization, and GABBY MAHABEER, okay, the programming and volunteer coordinator. And we're going to find out what Island Space is all about, the organization, the museum, and what's its importance to the Caribbean community and what we can do to help it thrive. So before we get into the show, I just have a couple of asks. First, I'm going to ask that you like and share the episode. You never know who will be able to get educated or entertained from, what they're going to see on the episode today. And I'm going to ask also that if you have any questions or comments, whatever platform you're watching, just put them in the chat room. If we don't get to them today, I'll definitely get to them, after the show. All right. So first, I'm just going to do a brief introduction on both of my guests that I have here, starting with CALIBE.
Yes.
CALIBE is a Jamaican-American entrepreneur with titles including TV producer, publisher, director, host, let me take a breath, columnist, and public speaker. And she's one of the co-founders and creative directors
Real Jamaican with 10
at,
toes.
at the creative services agency called Island Syndicate. Island Syndicate has produced, two independent national regional television series, Taste Islands and Island Origins. She's also produced a magazine called Island Origins. She's publisher and author of 2 best-selling books, and we're going to get into a little bit of that. And as I said, she's also one of the co-founders and the board president of the Island Space Caribbean Museum. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but now I'm going to introduce GABBY MAHABEER. She is a programming and volunteer coordinator here at Island Space Caribbean Museum. She has a passion for Caribbean cultures and community organizing, and her philosophy is to promote the revolutionary nature of artistic and cultural practices. Today, I'm going to be speaking with them to get, as I said before, an insight into the museum and what it's all about. Without further ado, GABBY and CALIBE, welcome to the Truly Julie Experience. How are you guys?
Thank you, Julie. We're truly happy to be here.
Okay, so what I like to do at the beginning of every episode is just a little getting to know you session of what you were doing before, Island Space. Do me a favor, CALIBE. keep it short because I can do an episode on you one alone.
No worries, okay.
All right.
I know how
So
to
just
edit.
give a little, right? Just give a little background on yourself and what you're doing before Island Space.
Well, as you said, I'm a Jamaican American entrepreneur, right? I moved here from Jamaica in '94. Since that time, I have, I won't get back into all of the details, but I'm a creative professional. I have a bachelor's degree in architecture. I ran off to sing with Beanie Man shortly after I got my degree. I toured for maybe 6 years with Beanie Man, with Kevin Little, with Kimani Marley. I got into television accidentally and produced...
Accidentally?
Accidentally,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And ended up producing Taste the Islands with Chef Irie. So we did 2 seasons of Taste the Islands as a national television series. I had some smaller ones. Island Origin started as a television show that was broadcast throughout the Caribbean and in some regions in the US and Canada. And that leapfrogged to eventually to become, well, to the magazine, yes, but to becoming the Taste the Islands television show. We did Taste the Islands as an event series. We had the Taste the Islands experience that went on it grew for 3 years until COVID happened. And through our relationship with one of our fantastic underwriters, the Community Foundation of Broward, we had some grant funds from one of those events. We had been doing this culinary museum that was touring around Broward County, because this is a Broward foundation that gave us the funding. And that's what kind of evolved into what got us to Island Space as a nonprofit organization and as the museum. So
okay, so that's putting me into the next question,
Sure.
which was going to be how you got started. How did the idea come about? So it sounds like it wasn't something that was on your grand plan of your grand list of your 5,000 things that you want to accomplish in your life.
It
It was?
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
and that's how it just came about. Because you had the extra funding
It
from there.
evolved. It didn't.
Okay.
I'm wary about the term just came about, right? So we.
But was it in your plans to have a museum all along, or did that evolve?
It
out of, as you
evolved.
said?
It really did evolve. I mean, you're in South Florida. Jamaicans will call it Kingston 21 because there are so many Jamaicans here. But also, when you're amongst the various Caribbean communities in South Florida, when Haitian people talking about Caribbean, them talking about the Haitian people. When Cubans are talking about Caribbean, they're talking about the Latin Caribbean community.
Okay.
And when we talk about Caribbean, we're typically thinking about the English-speaking Caribbean.
Okay.
But there's more than 1 in 4 people in South Florida was born in the Caribbean. I mean, everybody else, for me, is Caribbean adjacent. And so there was this opportunity for this thing. I've been affiliated with multiple people and multiple organizations. There was one called the Jamaica Diaspora Legacy Foundation. I'm going to shout out Garth Rose, who was the founder of that, with some other people like Father Ward, Cheryl Winter, so forth. And they had quite a while back thought about this, creating a Jamaican, I don't know if it was a cultural center, heritage museum, library, art thing, whatever. Similar in my mind to what the Little Haiti Cultural Center was doing,
Okay.
but for the Jamaican community.
Okay.
But from Island Origins, from Taste the Islands, from whatever, because I live in South Florida and because I am on this diversity inclusion thing more than anything else, I've always thought Caribbean and not just Jamaican. And so, you come across the ideas, you see the Little Haiti Cultural Center, you see what the Cuban community does and what this and that community they do. And it evolved because I started working with David Muir from the times of Island Origins and Taste the Islands, and you form a little crew and whatever. We started doing the event. The Culinary Museum started as a pop-up inside of the event, inside of the Taste the Islands event. We had a culinary museum. We borrowed some things from Auntie Maisie down at Culture Close, and we were borrowing her stuff and doing our little pop-up museum. And one day she said to me, I want back my thing. I said, but Auntie Maisie, we're still using them. So basically I went to Jamaica, went through my mother's house and stole what I could steal, beg, steal, borrow, buy, whatever. And
Appropriated. I don't like the word steal. Yes, appropriated.
But anyway, I'm making the story very detailed. But it was a series of pleasant accidents
Okay.
that led us here. We had those grant funds to help us with the event and to do the culinary museum. COVID came and we couldn't do those events anymore, and we had some grant monies left over. The opportunity came through, and I'm calling out everybody named Andrew Martineau and
Yeah.
Choose 954, who connected us with this space at Broward Mall, because we
Okay.
were thinking, what are we gonna do? We can't move this thing around anymore. They closed down all the libraries, whatever. And the opportunity came up to be connected with this space, and Sexy Man did his fairy
Sexy
dust.
Man is David Muir, just in case, for those who don't know.
Right.
We're going to be speaking with him a little bit later on.
Sexy Man did his magical fairy dust thing that he does. And we were connected with these people who had this space available. And, our gratitude to the Broward Mall, it was under different ownership at the time, but they have a policy where if they
I
have
think
an
they're now the
open-
Westfield Mall, right?
It was Westfield
West-
Broward
was
Mall.
Westfield.
It's now Broward
Broward
Mall.
Mall.
Apparently,
Okay.
a recent sale has
Okay.
happened, so we don't know what's going to happen. It'll probably keep the same name.
Okay.
But the proprietors of the mall have or had, hopefully still have, a policy where if they have empty spaces, they will partner with nonprofits
Okay.
to make those spaces, fill
Yeah,
it with
to use-
life
to
and
use
what
it,
have you.
utilize it properly.
And we were fortunate enough to be shown this particular space, which we never know how we were going to fill it up or how we were going to. We had a
With
little
all
gra-
these creative people on this
Yeah.
board, though, I mean, something was something had to happen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now, what is the mission of Island Space? Because I know you spoke about there were different individuals, organizations trying to do things for, like, as you said, Little Haiti has their cultural
Right.
center. There was some idea to try and get something for the Jamaicans. So what's the Island Space mission?
So the mission for Island Space, as you read, is to really elevate the profile of the Caribbean community. And Island Space, as a nonprofit organization, is different from Island Space
the music-
Caribbean Museum.
Okay.
The museum is a project or a program of the nonprofit.
Okay.
So the nonprofit, and the nonprofit means different things to different people. So if you speak to different board members, you're going to get a different feeling.
Right.
But for me, it is a platform through which any Caribbean creative should be able to find the support to do the creative things that we want to do.
Okay.
And so at the beginning, we were talking about doing documentary. We talked about doing, photography. David is a photographer, so we wanted to do photography projects. The museum part of it really was born out of this culinary museum thing.
Right.
And so, I'll keep it abridged, right? But the idea is to partner with other individuals, other small Caribbean organizations, nonprofits, museums, etc.,
Okay.
to create a space. And the long-term goal is a much bigger space facility environment within
To
which
grow,
people
to
can
grow.
within which people can partner together to make things happen. Because I'm going to say this last thing, because what I find is that somebody's over here doing the thing for the Haitians and somebody's over here doing a thing for Jamaicans, and we're in competition and who's going to do this first and who.
Yes.
There's so much creative stuff. We don't all need to have a building. We don't all need to have a
Right.
space, right? And a lot of us don't know how to write a grant or to look for the correct sponsorship. We're doing things and boy, I'm just doing it in my spare time. There is money to be had for other organizations. I'm going to use the term mass market and not say white people organizations, but I just
Mass
said
market.
it. Right? So if you are in other cultures, and again, we support diversity and we welcome everybody and we partner with everybody, but there are other organizations that are very good at writing grants and getting their philanthropic donations and so forth, and we need to understand how to do
How to
that.
it so we can help others to do the
Right,
same
and
thing.
we've started on that path, but we want to partner with other Caribbean creatives who are doing excellent work, and we will help to facilitate, pairing those people with those funds as we can, and making sure that the
everybody can
work
achieve what
remains
it is that they
excellence
want
under
to.
the umbrella here. Yes.
Okay. So that led into, I guess, my next question, which, who was the Caribbean Museum created for? Was it for the Caribbeans in the diaspora? Was it for non-Caribbeans to get insight into, Caribbean culture? Who is it really for?
The answer to your question and what you just said a while ago is yes.
I guess all of the above.
All the
Okay.
above, right? So every and anybody, and I know you know they say something can't be everything to all people, and I agree with that. But this space is meant to have something for everyone. So one of the things that we found when we were doing the museum as a pop-up is that people from Russia, people from South America, people from Africa would come in and go, oh, my grandmother had this, oh, I grew up with this thing. So the idea is to be a space where you can come and connect with everybody. Again, this whole thing of America uses the word tolerance, but one of the people who came in and did the Queer Caribbeans exhibit with us, again, inclusion is a big thing for us.
We're going to get into some of the programs that we had.
Sure, but one of the people who was doing that program said they didn't like the word tolerance because nobody mustn't tolerate me. I'm not to be tolerated. So we do focus on inclusion, partnership, equity, those kinds of things. And the whole idea is you come here, you see people who are different and unique, and that doesn't mean different, negative, unique, negative. It means different, unique, special. What can I appreciate about you because it's not the same as me?
Right. It's not
about division.
It's acceptance.
Exactly. It's not about division. It's about acceptance. Yes.
So, gonna switch to you now, Gabby.
Yay.
How did you become aware of Island Space, and and what were you doing before, you joined Island Space?
Absolutely. So I graduated from the University of Chicago this year. So that's what thank you. So that's what I was doing before I got to Island Space. And so a little bit about my time there. I majored in anthropology and Caribbean studies. So the Caribbean has always been the backdrop of my life. And so I came to Island Space for the opening reception of Queer Caribbeans, and I immediately fell in love with the space. I was like, oh my gosh, Queer Caribbeans, that's what my research is. I also saw in the archives, right, talking about enslavement and talking about emancipation, and that's also what my research is. And also just coming in and feeling welcomed, right, despite being young and despite coming in for the first time, I felt like I knew everyone here. When I first came in, I met CALIBE, and she was already someone that I was just genuinely happy to be around. And so I was like, oh my gosh, is Island Space hiring? They were hiring, and I was like, okay, let me tell you about myself. Yes, exactly, exactly.
Do you have Caribbean background?
Yes, okay. So I was born and raised in South Florida, but both of my parents are from Jamaica. They were both born and raised in Kingston.
And do you know a lot about your heritage, or?
Yes and no. I'm more of the cultural, but I don't know too much geography, but I do know a lot about Jamaica. So yes.
So working here is about to expose you to a lot of stuff.
Yes, it has. It has.
So you are the programming and volunteer coordinator.
Yes, I am.
What's your contribution to the organization based on your role?
Right. So I do a lot of things.
So you're made to do a lot of things by your boss?
No, not like that. You could say both, a little bit of both. But I don't mind because I absolutely love Island Space. But one of my biggest things, so related to programming, I help to kind of create and execute our programming. So Queer Caribbeans, for example, is one of the programs we did. In June, we had the Anansi Festival, which was a children's festival where we had storytelling and West Indian games on the patio. So putting those programs together, executing it. I also coordinate with volunteers, so making sure that we have people to support our events, to help with social media, content creation, things like that. Other than that, I am here when the museum is open, so guests will see my lovely face, get to talk to me.
When they come to use the space.
And yes, I also help to coordinate when people are renting the space. So fun fact, Island Space is a event rental space. So I'll be the point of contact for that.
Okay, so, which, you all lead me into my next questions. So last year, a couple weeks before Island Space and Museum was opened, I had the pleasure of interviewing David Muir, who we're going to see here a little later. So it's been over a year since the museum has been opened, right? So what kind of events have been held since then? I mean, the year, what's happened in the year?
So that might be more. Let me go there. So we actually opened in October of 2020. So we need to have an anniversary party or something. But I didn't even remember that. Thank you for saying it.
Yes,
But
right in the middle of a pandemic, you guys
yeah,
opened a Caribbean museum
yeah.
where there's supposed to be social distancing, and you're saying people come inside.
Well, they wore their mask and they came, and those who didn't want to wear their mask came anyway. I mean, you know, we're in Florida, so it's pretty flexible in this place. But we had, you know, we started off with a staff of one. And Marjorie Stanberry, shout out to Marjorie. You know, she started off, it was really just people coming in and looking at the artifacts. It grew to where there was an art exhibit every other month or so. Since this year, we have had, you know, an event, not a consistent event series yet. We're working on that for 2023 already. Okay. But we have had things like virtual panel discussion. So for Reggae Month, it was the virtual panel discussion. We had an in-person, lovely women's event, partner with Finiana Joseph out of Washington, D.C., and Solange Vivens. They came in and there were like 60 or 70 women sitting in it's a small space. So when you have 60 people in here, it's tight. Okay. And it was a tightly packed room with a spectacular, yes, it was a spectacular event with performance and poetry and whatever. We had the Queer Caribbeans series, you know, where inside of this room, here we do themed exhibits, right? So like in here right now where you see the mannequins with Nani and Toussaint Louverture and Jose Marti for reimagining emancipation, you know, so there are different themed exhibits that will take place in this room, different art exhibits over there. Philippe Dodard is coming up, famous Haitian. Oh my gosh, yes. Sorry. So yes, let me not get carried away. But yes, it's virtual. For the most part, it's the virtual conversations, in-person things, and then the art shows and the themed exhibits. And so if you come in here, you sign up for our mailing list. I think you can do it on the website as well. Sign up for the mailing list, and you will see what's coming up, or just look on the calendar online to see what's coming up.
So speaking of, you know, coming into the museum, right? Just give us a little walkthrough. I don't know who's gonna feel that question on when you come in, right? Give us a little walkthrough of what will a person experience? Is it a self-guided thing, or do you actually get a guided tour? You know, what will somebody see?
Yes, so when you first walk in, you're gonna see our fluffy diva, our red and black carnival costume to greet you. People tend to love that, taking pictures. We might as well just name her Fluffy Diva at this point. Okay. But once you walk in, once you pass the Fluffy Diva, you'll see our welcome wall. So that has a list of various Caribbean countries and islands. And then you get to explore the space. So right now it's a self-guided tour, but we are looking for volunteers to come in and help with our touring. Yes. So we have a virtual app and a virtual museum environment that is currently being built out, almost finished, if not finished. So we're really excited for that. And then once you come in, make your payment, show your tickets, whatever, get through the more housekeeping things, you get to explore the space. So right now we have a few spaces. So this room that we're in is the multi-purpose room with the themed exhibits. We also have the art gallery, and then we have the archives, which traces the history of the Caribbean.
Okay. So right now, you know, we're going to take a little commercial break and pay some bills. When we come back, I'm going to be speaking with somebody that we actually had come in, David Muir. He's actually having a exhibit that's going on right now for Pieces of Jamaica, from which... Product placement. He did a Pieces of Jamaica book. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to see some of the pieces that are in the book, and then he's going to talk about an event that's placed around that. And then we're going to come back and just wrap up, okay, with how people can get involved and help out the museum and, you know, make it thrive. So give us about 2 minutes, and then we'll be back.
On Friday, September 9th, Flexx Fridays presents Richard Stevens' album release party for the album Reverse the Curse.
Some try to put a curse on people, cause them heart full of evil. Tell them we say a God over table. Yeah. Everybody sing along now.
Live at the Garden, which is located at 4340 North State Road 7 in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. There will be a live performance from Ardini Chris.
Family was a lake boy, me make me wanna about it. Yeah. So me name John Carlin and Horton for it.
And Richard Stevens performing some of the hits from his new album right here on Flexx Fridays. That's September 9th at the Garden. The Flexx vibes will be driven by DJ Lance and Action Kwame. For more information on tickets and direction, you can call 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700. That's Flexx Fridays, September 9th at the Garden. Come on down and flex with us. It's Flexx Friday! It's an album launch for Richard Stevens. Reverse the Curse.
Yes, it's that time of year. It's tax time. Do you know where to get your taxes done? Don't worry. Blair's Management Tax and Accounting Services is the place for you. This is Nigel Blair. With over 26 years of experience in the tax and accounting field, we have what it takes to prepare your taxes the right way and to make sure you take advantages of all your tax deduction and all your tax credits and get you back the maximum amount of refunds possible. So don't delay. Call us today at 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700.
On Friday, September 9th, Flexx Fridays presents Richard Stevens' album release party for the album Reverse the Curse.
Some try to put a curse on people, cause them heart full of evil. Tell them we say a God over table. Yeah. Everybody sing along now.
Live at the Garden, which is located at 4340 North State Road 7 in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. There will be a live performance from Ardini Chris.
Family was a lake boy, me make me wanna about it. Yeah. So me name John Carlin and Horton for it.
And Richard Stevens performing some of the hits from his new album right here on Flexx Fridays. That's September 9th at the Garden. The Flexx vibes will be driven by DJ Lance and Action Kwame. For more information on tickets and direction, you can call 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700. That's Flexx Fridays, September 9th at the Garden. Come on down and flex with us. It's Flexx Friday! It's an album launch for Richard Stevens. Reverse the Curse.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for our second segment of the Truly Juli experience. I'm going to ask that again. You like and share the episode because we have a joker that's coming up right about now. So you're going to be having a lot of fun along with your education. All right. With me right now, I have Mr. David Muir, also known as Sexy Man, right? He is one of Jamaica's most premier photographers. He also has a history that I can do an episode on him alone, starting from what DJing, producer, music producer, all of that stuff, manager, everything.
I'm in the music business, for sure.
And then after music, photography, television.
I love it. I mean, the museum, we love to do things that are cultural, we love to do things that are creative, and we definitely love the arts. So anything we can do to express ourselves. Again, for me, arts is a definition of how we express ourselves in the world. And I live every day to express myself. No matter what genre or what aspect of the arts, for me, the arts is about sharing how you think and feel about the world with others to help them to have emotion and experience and to just, like you say, I like the word edutainment.
Edutainment,
Because,
right?
yeah, once we do the education with the entertainment, we're going to have a great time. So, let's do it.
All right. So what we're here to talk about now is your book that you have there, Pieces of Jamaica. This is actually the second
It's the second in, so 10 years ago, in 2012, for Jamaica's 50th anniversary of independence, we did a book celebrating Jamaica's 50 years of independence. It was spectacular. It was a singular effort, whereas in David was saying to people, this is what I think and what I feel and what I love about Jamaica. 10 years later, we have a much brighter outlook because
60th
now
anniversary.
it is not just the 60th anniversary, but now this is a grander project because it's CALIBE influence and Sean influence, and I look at David too, and then because we'd just finished doing a lot of work for the tourist board, where we went and shot Jamaica for them as a part of their mission to bring more people to the island of Jamaica and to let people know about the country. I always have a different view than what the tourist board, and I love and respect what they do. And they have a very important job.
I would have loved to hear some of those conversations.
They have a very important job to do. But as a Jamaican who knows Jamaica very well, I like to showcase some of the alternate spaces.
I like to try the words.
Well, I have to think about it as I'm letting it out of my mouth. But yeah, so, I mean, here's the thing. Jamaica has a lot to offer. And it's not all what the tourist, that is the, how you said, the perfect tourist doesn't fit all of what Jamaica has to offer. And so the people who like the more experiential, the more adventurous things, then they want to see my version of what is Jamaica. Because, again, we have so much history. You know, like, how much time are you going to go to Duns River Falls? We have 100 waterfalls.
And there are different Jamaicas for different people.
Absolutely.
Right? Depends on what you do, where you go. And,
step off the beaten path. I don't know if the camera is going to catch this, but right behind you is a picture of an area in Jamaica called Mosquito Cove.
If you move forward.
A lot of people in Jamaica never heard of Mosquito Cove.
I never heard of Mosquito Cove.
There you go. So these are... And this
Where is Mosquito Cove?
Out west, Westmount.
Okay.
So, again, how we say this best? There's so much to learn about Jamaica if you just have the time and the adventurous spirit. So I have the adventurous spirit. I don't have the time, but I make a little time to showcase and show off the Jamaica I love. Right?
Which we're going to see some of these things
now. We can play a few. Again, not somewhere that everybody go. If you know Jamaica well, never that time, I just have to draw you closer. Don't afraid, me not bite, promise. Hold on for it.
No.
All right, so don't know who knows, but this is again, funny enough, I just said Westmoreland. This is also that same side, right? There's a school named Russie's. You know hear about it? All right.
My mother used to go to Russie's.
All right. Well, this is right beside Russie's. Right, literally. School is right here, and this is again another place. Most people say, "But where is this? We never see this." Right just outside of the township. This is kind of the stuff that it's a fort that's been there. It's sort of been let go. Nobody does much there. But if you look, it's spectacular. There's so much to see. The water is beautiful. The cannons are still there from the fort. A lot of the old buildings are still there. You can go, you can adventure. It's not an everyday tourist spot, but it's a place that we should enjoy. We should learn more about where to go in Jamaica.
All right.
This is another area that a lot of people...
Bigger fish to fry.
Yes. Well, each of the pieces have a name.
Right.
But this is specifically an area where, you know, like, if you grew up in Kingston, people go and say, oh, you want to get good fish, you're going to go to? Elsha. Exactly. So this is a place where everybody who, if you're on the other side, go and go for good fish. This is what them call border. Right? Now, border is where that there. It's right on the border of St. Elizabeth. No, and St. Lamar. Right in the corner, right in the little thing. And honestly, it's a whole host of vendors just like this beautiful vendor who is sharing her wares. And honestly, you see this Right, so. And you see this right, so? All of this was somebody order. I happened to be there, and this was right before
it wasn't your order.
Thanksgiving. It's not my order. You don't want to see my order. Hello, you want evidence? You don't want to see my order. But the thing about this, Julie, is that at the end of the day, this was all going to a table with the bami, the fried fish, escovitch, every part. All of this was going in one order to America. This is, you want me to tell you, this is the border, St. Elizabeth and Savlamar. So you know how far this is from the airport. Somebody came to pick it up to go straight to Florida to serve as Thanksgiving dinner in America because you're getting the right thing. And you know how far somebody go drive. If you go back on the air, Kingston, but them a drive out 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours to get the right food. That is when you know you're at the right kind of place to get your desires met. All right, so Jamaica. This is one of these kind of things that, for me, what this is telling is the story of authentic Jamaica. When you look on this could have been anywhere in Jamaica. So you have the hillside, you have the very paved road, you see that the government 25 here. I don't even know if them even know what asphalt look like up here. But bottom line, the road is still there. This is coming down from the hills of St. Thomas. You can travel, you see regular Jamaica life. I don't want you to just notice, say, it's 2 man on a bike, you know. But on top of the 2 man on a bike, you know, there's all of what's going on, and then you can even see the man have him like a buckle of roots and him on. You can see the man have him backpack on. So things are going. Things I deal with, you know.
There's a lot in these pictures.
Yeah, you can see
to learn about Jamaica.
Yeah, the way the road curved, the way of a special kind of pothole them. No matter, even when it don't pave, it still have pothole. It's everywhere. Pothole is a genuine part of how everything starts out, right? But again, you see the Blue Mountain range, you see all of this beautifulness. Yeah, man, Jamaica.
All right, I want to jump to.
Yeah, man, jump anywhere, man, because you know the time go.
This picture.
Which one of them?
Wheel and come again.
Oh,
yes.
All right. So you know where this is? Oh, you want me to hold it? Yeah, man. Yes. All right. So wheel and come again. This is a water wheel which exists. I'm not use the mic over here. This is a water wheel. This is at a wonderful place just outside of what people like to call Montego Bay or St. James. It's just as you cross over. I don't know if you're familiar, but there's
I'm not familiar with this.
So they have this place called Trial. Ever hear about it? All right.
Golf,
so
golfing?
yes.
Okay,
so this is on the same plantation property where them have the golf and them have the whole things that they used to use in those days. This is how them get the water to move. So they have a little channel in where them run water down, and then it drop it to this, and then it spin the wheel, and then the wheel generate the energy, and them use it for the things stay. But this is what the part them call Trial, right? Again, just on the northwest side of Jamaica. And like I said, most people call it Montego Bay. It's not actually Montego Bay, but they're close enough. They're right outside. What else again you want me to talk about?
The next one.
Don't so. All right. So rafting is all over in Jamaica. It depends on where and how you want to go. So there's different sides of the country that do rafting. This is rafting on the south. Well, no, I lie, man. This is north side of the island. This is over in Portland area. This is on the Rio Cobre. Like metal again, Rio Grande. So I'm see. All right. This is rafting on the Rio Grande, Portland side. This is government workers. When I say government workers, meaning they work under the management of the government authority. They're all licensed and they're all practicing their craft properly. They have it where each person who work have a day and a time. So if them work today and then finish work, then another person come and get to work and then come back the next day and so on. So it's actually well structured, well organized. It's actually a great thing to do, either as a Jamaican or as a tourist. This is one of the most calming and relaxing, and might the right side of you if you want to join the conversation. Yeah, man, but trust me, Julie, this is like one of the most relaxing ways to enjoy a day in Jamaica. The only thing is make sure you wear a hat if you get burned, because sun you don't have nowhere to hide. And
I feel bad to say it, but as a Jamaican, I have not yet rafted on the Rio Grande. But that's something that I will be.
Have you done MAHABEER? No, no. The shake head. You have to go rafting. It's
No, I will.
wonderful.
Next time I go to Jamaica, especially seeing some of these, some of these pictures, I say I have to go and visit some of these places.
Jamaica have to offer. We have so many things. This is the Grand Rose Hall. We know where the White Witch.
Rose Hall and Annie and everything. Yeah. Okay.
This is where the duck them relax and stay.
So what I am going to ask now is, how long is this exhibit up for?
I think this is about to end. So if you're going to come, time to come is now. I think we have about a week left before this exhibit comes down, because we have a Haitian exhibition that's coming in that's going to be brilliant. They have the great Doddard, and there's some, amazing Jean-Jacques Alexis. And so this show.
So this is
in
like
August. In
September.
September, September, because another show is coming in to take over shortly.
So how can somebody get the book? How and where can somebody get the book?
This book has some of what you see here.
Right.
250 plus pictures more. If you want to get Pieces of Jamaica, the easiest way, piecesofjamaica.com. It's available on there. There's currently a discounted price. The discount is going to end very, very soon. So I recommend, if you want to get Pieces of Jamaica, you go to Pieces. We will also be having a book signing here at the museum. I believe it's September 29th here, which will be the second book signing for the new book. We had a book 10 years ago. You can also purchase the older version of the book on the website. And we do have book signings that will be occurring all throughout the United States, in Jamaica, and so on. We're not going to Europe just yet, but 2023, we'll see Europe. So if you're watching on that side of the town, just know that we're coming your way shortly. 2022, we're doing all of the East Coast of the U.S. throughout September and October, and then later in the year, we're going to go to the West. So if you are in the West Coast watching, do know Pieces of Jamaica will be available. And I see that we're going to be rejoined by my business partner. I say, the one and only CALIBE Thompson, step in right into the scene. Yeah, man.
Yes, so
my publisher and my fabulousness. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask some questions around. This is a museum. Every museum I know always have certain needs.
Oh.
Like
money. Always. Always.
Actual arts, artifacts to be in the museum, and human resources. Yeah. Talk to me. I don't know which one of you want.
You can start.
I'll start. You can finish up. What I would say to anyone, I want to just step clearly into the camera. We need your help for us to celebrate our heritage. The truth is that this is an effort that was started by these two individuals and has been joined by many others, our board, and many people who have given and contributed. But this cannot exist in America or in the world without the support of everyone out there. If you can find even a $5, or if you have the wherewithal to give us a $500, or even better, if you have an entity that can give us $5,000, you need to definitely get in touch with us. The best ways is to go to our website, space.org. Again, it's island space, not a space, but the SPACE, islandsspacefl.org, where you can find ways to contribute and to get involved. You can volunteer to be someone who gives of your time and your energy and comes in. And then, of course, we always need donations of historical artifacts, even things that are fairly new, that really scream the culture and the heritage of the Caribbean.
Like
Ms. Thompson?
Just an example, what kind of artifacts would you be willing to accept from?
I'm so glad you're asking, because we actually have a donation drive. Our first donation drive is next weekend, which is, at the time of this recording, it's going to be the 9th and the 10th of September. And so we're looking for people to bring in, as David said, anything that speaks to your culture. So in there we have a lot of culinary, but those we find are very specific to particular islands. We use green plantain skin to press plantain. There's something called a plantain press that they use in the Latin countries. Anything like that that is very specific to your country, from your household, from your grandparents' clothing or costumes, not carnival costumes. We have a whole lot and we'd have space for storage. What we don't necessarily want is things like posters or, somebody's painting that you found or that you purchased on the side of the road from the Rasta man. Like, those are not the kinds of things. We really want artifacts, dolls in your native dress, native outfits from your country, just anything that came from back home that looks like it came from back home and that represents what your culture is. So we can't even imagine what those things might be, but bring it if you have it.
And just for clarity, when we say Caribbean, we mean everyone, not just one or two islands. If you're from Suriname, Guyana, Panama, Belize, Honduras.
Anywhere touched by the Caribbean Sea or that shares our heritage.
Definitely. I just don't want anyone to feel left out. It is really for all of us, all people from the Caribbean, touching the Caribbean Sea or in the Caribbean Sea, and even the Bahamas and Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean. We want all of you.
Yes, and I'm going to say, hold on, no, because David stopped the begging at the 500. I'm going at 5,000. If you have 5 million, we actually need it.
What she said.
Because, no, and I'm dead, no, both of us are. I am dead serious because we are, as we shared earlier, we're in a space made available by the mall. The mall was recently sold, so we're actively looking for a new location. We're very grateful to the mall, but we're actively looking for a new location, and it's going to take, we want to be bigger and better always, and so it's going to take quite a bit of money to do that. So we do want the 5 million. If you have 50 million, we will take that too, and we will do a whole lot with it, right? So yes.
Leading to my last question.
Yes.
What would you like to see happen to and with the Island Space Caribbean Museum, let's say in the next 12 months?
In the next 12, I'm going to get to the next 12 months, but I want to do my appeal before anybody tune off, right? Please come to the museum. We are here and open from Thursdays through Sundays from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Gabby will always be there at the front to welcome you with a warm smile. You can do your tours. We have the tour app, so it's not just by yourself. You're going to hear the lovely voice of Neki Mohan, who's our unofficial ambassador, guiding you through the space. You can come here to do your events. We have, you can use the space for as little as $625 for 2 hours, and it goes up from there, whether you want to do a birthday party or networking event or mix or whatever. I'll stop doing the pitches now, but over the next 12 months, we are going to continue to do a more robust schedule of programming that might be partnerships with other organizations who want to do cultural things or art shows and so forth here, like the Philippe Dodard DAA 2022 art show and event. That's the event is on the 16th, and then the art show is there for 2 months. Paul Campbell and a few friends are going to be here for Miami Art Week and the holiday season and into next year. We have a lot of more talks, more exhibits, more of all kind of that stuff. So again, visit the website. Send us an email. It's museum@islandspacefl.org if you can't figure out how to get added to the mailing list. But every event is on our Eventbrite, on the website, on the social media. Connect with us. Come on in. It's $10 for adults, $5 for children as well.
And what are the hours again?
It's Sunday, Thursday through Sunday, 11 to 7 on the first 3 days. On Sunday, we close at 6 p.m. It's an hour earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
CALIBE and David, thank you for joining us today, telling us about Island Space, the Caribbean Museum, and all of that kind of stuff. Really appreciate it. Guys, come on down. I mean, they're open until 7 today, and you just heard the hours, so come and see what it is that's being done for Caribbean people to unite us,
Amen.
and so that we can hear about our heritage.
Yay!
All right?
On behalf of all of us and Gabby and the board and everybody, thank you so much, and we'll see you at Island Space as soon as possible.
Thank you for being a part of the Juli experience today. I want to see you here next week again from 1 to 2 for another episode. Now keep keep with us so that you can see the next show that's coming up after us, which is going to be back at the studio, but that's Caribbean Blend with Lisa L. Until next week, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, since this is Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Yes, it's that time of year. It's tax time. Do you know where to get your taxes done? Don't worry, Blair's Management, Tax and Accounting Services is the place for you. This is Nigel Blair. With over 26 years of experience in the tax and accounting field, we have what it takes to prepare your taxes the right way and to make sure you take advantages of all your tax deduction and all your tax credits and get you back the maximum amount of refunds possible. So don't delay. Call us today at 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700.
On Friday, September 9th, Flex Fridays presents Richard Stevens' album release party for the album Reverse the Curse.
Some try to put a curse on people, cause them heart full of evil. Tell them we say a God over table. Yeah. Everybody sing along now.
Live at the Garden, which is located at 4340 North State Road 7 in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. There will be a live performance from Ardini Chris.
From me was a little boy, me make me wanna money. Yeah. So me name John Carlin and Horton for it.
And Richard Stevens performing some of the hits from his new album right here on Flex Fridays. That's September 9th at the Garden. The Flex Vibes will be driven by DJ Lance and Action Kwame. For more information on tickets and direction, you can call 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700. That's Flex Fridays, September 9th at the Garden. Come on down and flex with us. It's Flex Friday! It's an album launch for Richard Stevens. Reverse the Curse.